and then I'll be able to send this out as an email. All right, then we're recording right now, so I'm going to go ahead and get going. I'm going to share our first screen, and it's this one right here. So this is what you're going to be looking at. Now, some of you people may be very, very familiar with this, and if you are, I'm not trying to bore you, but some people might not be so, experienced with this. So and by the way, if you have a question, I can't see you very well because you're very minimal, but you can just shout out, just unmute and interrupt me. That's fine. I'm happy with questions, so let me know. So on Tuesday the 20th, that's coming up, what is that, 5 days from now, 4 days from now, something like that. Uh, you really need to get started as early as you can, but definitely by Tuesday. And I know people work and go to school and things like that, but you want to start on Tuesday, and you'll understand why in a little bit. When you come here, hover. If you have never done this before, hover over academics. Here I am up here with academics. Hover, come down to online education, and click on that. Now, you can go directly to Canvas if you know what you're doing. What you might want to do is come down here and look. This is where you can get help if you need it. There's even a phone number for one of our deans, actually. And Janet will help you if you call her, if you're really in a jam. There's also a Canvas helpline and things like that. But that's basically just for Canvas, okay? That's only going to help you. There's a 3.5-minute overview, and there's oh, here we got somebody just coming in here. There's also a 4 minute thing about how to get help in Canvas and things like that. And you can always ask me, but that's just good to know. Anyway, what you're going to do is you're going to click to Canvas you're going to click on this connect to Canvas here. And I'm not going to do it because it's just going to take me to my thing. If you've never done, you're going to sign in, you're going to have to set up an account. If you've never done that, use your student email. That's important. But I'm not going to click here right now to show you because it's just going to go to my account, and that's not going to help us very much. Okay. So once you do that, you're going to get to our class. Now, it's important that you remember when you're looking for our class, which is Spanish 200 0832. And this is exactly what you're going to see. I'm using the student view here. So I want you to scroll down. This is our homepage. This shows you how you can get in touch with me. I don't even mind if you text or call me. That's fine. Please, reasonable hours. Midnight calls are not that appreciated. And then I've also created a little video, but basically I'm going to show you this stuff right now, so you don't have to do too much in this, but you can look at it if you want. This is how we can communicate. I have weekly office hours using Zoom on Tuesdays. So you'll have to get a Zoom app, but you'll need that anyway. And you can click on this link to meet with me once you get Zoom downloaded to your system. Use your student email, by the way, to sign up with Zoom, and you won't have to pay for it. If I don't know if it's free or not, but anyway. So this will show you a lot about information about us. But one of our main things that we want, you know what, before I do that, let's look at Vistas assignments, okay? First of all, place to go to find our assignments is maybe right here. They do put our assignments right here, but a really nice thing is just to click on assignments. And hopefully everybody can see that. Can everybody see a new thing with assignments? I think you probably can. I hope so. So let me know if you can. And so we've got discussion posts and video posts. There's going to be 2 of those for every lesson. It gives you the due date right here. Sorry, February 1st is our first due date. And the other place that I want you to click on is right here, announcements. This is very important. You're going to be especially reading this one, getting help on an activity in Vistas. I'm not going to go there right now. You need to look at it, though. And also help to get you started. I know they're a little bit lengthy, but you really want to look at this. It's absolutely important that you know how to use Vistas. However, I'm going to show you today anyway. So let's go back to our home page. And if you keep on scrolling down here, you're going to learn how to get going in Vistas. You need to do this. And this is a very important phone number. If you get stuck purchasing your Vistas e-text access, here's a phone number. And these guys actually pick up the phone. They actually will help you on the phone. You won't be stuck for hours and hours. Although it's true that at the beginning of the semester, they can take a little while, but not too bad, okay? Read this stuff. It's important for you. And also very important, please use the exact same first and last names that you used to sign up for this course with Mendo. I have you in Canvas, and then I have you in Vistas. If your names are different, I don't know who you are. And I hate to admit this, but I once mistakenly, I didn't do it on purpose, but I failed a student because I didn't know it was the same person. They had two last names. So please use the same name. Okay. All right. Don't forget our section number, 0832. You're going to need that when you sign into Vistas. Okay. Vistas is ready for you. And because you're going to click on a link down here to purchase your access, but you have two options. Okay. You can get the online access plus a textbook, which is about almost $120. But for $40 less, you only need the online access. That's enough because the textbook is embedded. You don't have to buy the textbook unless you want to have a textbook. They'll send it to you. You'll need a 3-ring binder that you have to buy separately. So think about that. Now, here's why we got to get going right away. I say do this today, right now. You can't do it right now. But on Tuesday, the 20th, you got to get going because we have 52 assignments, 5 quizzes, a lesson test, and 2 Canvas assignments that are due less than 2 weeks from our starting date. So please get going on the Vistas right away, okay? And getting into Canvas. So purchase your Vistas online access. I'm not going to do that either because all that's going to do is get me to my account, and that's not going to help you at all at this point, okay? Then I've got a little bit more about assignments in Canvas, assignments in Vistas, your workload, and there is an oral proficiency test, which I won't talk about right now. It's not difficult. I try to help you. It's a state requirement. We have to do it, and it's done through Zoom and Calendly, which is just like a little scheduling app. So you can click on this link to schedule our meeting. You can click on this link to attend our meeting, which is the same link you're using to attend this meeting. So I don't want to go into that anymore. I know it's a lot, but you're going to have to take a look at it and then click on announcements and assignments. And then you're pretty much done with that. So once you get your online access, by the way, let me pause and see if we've got any questions, anything that somebody needs to know or is unclear at this point. You can just shout it out. Just unmute yourself. Do you know how to do that? I think you push the space bar, or they've got a little icon of a little microphone that you can click onto. All right, if I don't have any questions, here's what you're going to see when you finally get into Vistas, okay? This is your Vistas homepage. This is the cover of our text. It's a guy standing on a salt flat in Bolivia. It's actually the world's largest salt flat. Let's look at this before we get going on what assignments look like. If you ever ask me a question, you're going to learn about this later. If you ask me a question and about an assignment, and I respond to it, you're going to get a notification right here. This is kind of important. Okay, this is where you can check on that. If I make announcements, and I don't make many announcements in Vistas, I usually send out emails. That's how I like to do that best. So be checking your student email. I will be sending out an email every Monday, at least by the evening. And you want to check on those because I send out videos that'll help you learn the material. I send out your reminders of upcoming due dates and so on and so forth. But right now, in Vistas is where you're going to do most of your work. Your Vistas assignments are worth 80% of your semester grade. Canvas assignments are worth 20% of your semester grade. Okay, so you come here. This will be your home page, your dashboard, and this is your assignments. Now, I'm going to, and it's very simple. This is everything that needs to be done by Sunday, February 1st. It's very easy. It's nicely laid out for you. And all you do is click start, but I need to show you something very important. To get to your quizzes and your test, you've got to scroll down a little bit farther. Now, I wish I could show you this because it wouldn't bother me to show you the quiz for a second. But I don't know what about it is about Vistas, but they won't let me show you the quiz. But it's the same deal. You just click on start. And honestly, all these quizzes are pretty much just like the activities. What's not made clear to you is when you should take these things. But here's the deal. You'll start to figure it out after a while. Once you get done with contextos and fotonovela and cultura, it's probably time to take the vocabulary quiz. Sorry about that. And then once you get done with, we got 4 estructuras, each one. So there's a vocab quiz that goes along with this stuff. Then there's a quiz for each one of these things. They're all down here. And of course, you want to do this material before you try to take a quiz. If you have questions, you can always get in touch with me about that. But probably you don't want to wait to the very end to do all your quizzes at once. if it were me, I would say, look, I'm going to get through Estructura 1.1, and then I'm going to take the quiz on that. Okay. And you've also got a lesson test down here. And for some reason, they put this out of order, and it's been that way since I've been using this program for 10 years, and I can't seem to make them change it. So that's just part of the deal. All right, let's take a look. This is very important. This is what you're going to do. You know what? I should do something. I completely forgot about this. Let's look at our discussions. Can everybody see that? I hope everybody can see the new page. If you can't, you let me know. I forgot to do this. In your assignments in Canvas now, I'm back in Canvas. Let's look at this. You click on it. It's due on February 1st. You click on it, and you're going to have, oh, that's right. That's why I didn't used to do this. All right, never mind. They won't let me show it to you until it's actually open, and I can't open it beforehand. I just can't. So that's just too bad. I'm sorry. But anyway, it's easy. You just go that the instructions are super simple. You're going to do a discussion post and it's very simple. The first one is just going to say, hello, my name is Dave, for example. How are you today? Goodbye. That's it. I mean, really, that's your first one. You're also going to do a video, though, almost of the same thing. Nobody will see that video but me. It will never, ever, I give you my word, will never, ever be reposted or shown anywhere else to anybody. I'm the only person that sees it. But you do have to have your camera on. Your video feed has to be enabled. I need to see you doing this thing. That's just how it is. Okay, I'm sorry about that. But now we're back in Vistas. Let's take a look. And I'm going to hit start right now, which is what you'll do. You're going to hit start. And this is what you're going to see. Now, I wouldn't click either of these things. Here's what I would do. You can't hurt anything by clicking on these things. Here's what I would do. You have an assignment list that we have to get done. So this is what I would do. I'd click on assignment list. It's up here. Click on it, and you're going to get this little pull down menu. So drop down menu. So basically, these are all there's a lot of them. You can see them. This is the 51 assignments that you got to get done, right? Whatever it is. If you've looked at something, it turns pink. If you look at something and complete it, it turns pink. If you look at something and you've only looked at it, but you haven't completed it yet, you've opened it, then it turns blue. So this gives you a nice visual of what you've done in Vistas and what you need to get done. These are the only things you need to do, and that's it. You're good. So let's take a look. You click on this one. Let's just click on it and see what happens here. I hope. Well, this is interesting. Doesn't seem to be working. Oh, maybe because I already did it. I don't know. Let's see. Well, oh, I see. I guess I don't know why that happened. I'm sorry. Anyway, by the way, you might have to collapse this thing so you can see stuff. So here's one of the exercises. And they give you a pretty clear thing here. Choose the correct response for each question or statement you hear. So you listen, right? Sorry. You can always stop this thing. And then you go, and you'll have studied this stuff already, but then you'll choose one of these two and you'll submit your thing. Let's go back to the assignment list. Because what I want to show you is more important than that. Let's go to our tutorial. Actually, I won't go to the tutorial. There's little things that you really ought to watch. These tutorials are very important to you. But what I want to do is go here. This is a very important thing for learning how to submit your exercises. So let's get rid of this so we can see the thing. By the way, these instructor notes, if I've opened them, they'll be open, but if they haven't, it's really important to click on my instructor note. Now, in this one, I didn't really do anything here except tell you to look at your textbook. But this is an example. This is one of your very first things to do. And it doesn't tell you too much. So sometimes I give you pretty useful information. It just says el, la, los, or las. You choose. So if you've done your studying up here in our textbook, which I'm going to show you in just a minute, and watch the tutorials, you'll know that, and always look at the model, by the way. Chica, they say, you should use la for this one. So you do, and that's what you're doing. So if you've studied Spanish, you already know. Chico would go with el chico, the boy, and cuadernos would go with los, and maleta would go with la, and lápiz would go with el, and mujeres would go with las. Okay? Now you're going to scroll down. There's a little bit more to do. It's the same thing. Do either una, unos, unas. Now this one, guys, this time I'm going to do it wrong because I know I'm 100%, but I want to show you what happens when you do it wrong. So for this one, I'm going to say un, because that's what I saw up here. Maybe I get confused. I didn't realize that this is plural, and it really should have been unos, but I'm doing this wrong on purpose. I'm going to really mess this up. Okay, I'm going to do that. Now that's not even in here. There's no excuse for doing that one because you should have used one of these four. But I'm going to do this one, let's say right. Okay, I'll do this one right. And this would be wrong again, but that's okay. Don't worry if you don't understand what I'm doing. I just want you to see what happens when it's wrong. So now I go, this is a very important button that we're going to talk about in just a moment. But I'm going to hit submit. I think I'm pretty good here. So I'm going to hit submit. Boom. And you can see what happens. I immediately find out that, hey, I did really well here. Green check marks. I'm good to go. Ah, not so good here. Now, this is where, at this point, this is where you learn to do this by yourself. And by the way, this is pretty important here. Look up here because you got one attempt left. You usually have two for each exercise. You can do the tutorials as many times as you want. So, but yeah, I got one attempt left, so I got to get this right, okay? Or as good as I can, right? So if I'm happy, I should not be happy with this. Okay, I've only got 60% here. But if I'm happy, I can go accept, or I can do a retry here. I'm not going to do a retry yet because I'm going to ask myself, I don't understand what went wrong here, okay? This is really important. It's an important part of getting your grade in this class. So I'm going to ask my instructor. And this is what you're going to see. So you're going to say, so what you're going to do to ask me a question is click on any of these things. You can click anywhere it's pink. You can click there. If you just didn't understand anything, then go ahead and click on it. And you can do this before you hit submit, by the way. If you've got a question, you're just going, I don't know how to even start here. So you click on it. Now you can write me a question. Oops, sorry. Something like that. I hope you're more specific than that. Please be more specific than that. But I'm just going to get this thing done. So I hit submit. And now wait for my reply. You can retry it right now if you want, but what I'm going to do is go back to our dashboard. Oh, no, I have, okay, sorry. I was going to show you this. So I told you this already, but see, I haven't replied yet, but the minute I do, you're going to get a notification here to go and click on it. And I will say, look, this is what you're doing wrong, or don't forget that these are different and something like that. I'll get you straight. And then you can go back and try it again. Okay. So let's go back to our assignment list. And oh, I got to open this up. Okay. I got to, here's my assignments. I want to look at this thing. So we'll start again. And I'm going to just go to my assignment list. I think that's best. And well, that's basically about it, actually. So you're just going to work through these things. And so when I get through Estructura 1.1, which ends right here, there's a little review section, which is pretty useful. And then at that point, you probably want to jump into the quizzes and get one of your quizzes done, okay? Now, the other thing that's very important, you see this little icon right here? I'm making it flash on and off up here. This is your textbook. This is where you can find our textbook. And rather than have to stop the share and then reshare, I'm just going to pretend I clicked on it and look at this right here. This is your textbook, and it's actually a really good textbook. Now, you can make it bigger so you can see what's going on. So I'm going to do that so you can actually see it. This is where you learn the grammar. This is where you come to study. And you can do all sorts of cool things here. I'm not going to do it right now, but you can highlight stuff. Frankly, I'm not sure that's that worthwhile. You can take notes and things like that. You can move forward in the book if you need to by clicking here. And what I also want to share with you was this. They're going to have exercises for you to do here. But remember, this isn't your textbook. Your textbook, well, this is your textbook, but you can't do any work here. Okay, you can't do any work here at all. You can, but these are the exact same exercises that you're going to do electronically. So don't try to do them here. Just, let them go. All right. Now I'm going to go back here and I'm going to go back. So let me see really quickly. Shout out. Just you're going to have to unmute and shout out if you got a question because I can't even see you. See if you got a. Does anybody have a question for me?
I have a question.
Shoot, Lily.
Are the quizzes, are they timed?
No, you can have as much time as you want. The only thing is you really want to get through everything that's due on February 1st by the due date because in Vistas you are allowed to turn in work late, but there is a 5% penalty per day late. So if you turn it in 3 days late, there's going to be a 15% penalty. Okay. But there's no time limit on anything. You can take as long as you want to get this work done, but it all has to be done. Well, for this lesson, it all has to be done by February 1st. And that's an excellent question, Logan. Thank you for asking that. I sort of neglected to mention that. Does anybody else have another question? Or Logan, do you have another question?
What does it look like after February 1st deadline?
You can keep on doing them. They'll show you up here. Actually, I don't know if you can see where my cursor is right here, right up here, where I'm making a big circle. They'll show you work that's overdue. So you kind of want to finish that up as quick as you can, but you don't want to leave lesson two out of the loop either. So you really want to try to keep up if you're concerned about your grade. And that's all there is to it. By the way, Canvas assignments, there's two per lesson, the discussion post and the video post. We saw those. They must be turned in on time. They cannot be turned in late. And if you don't get them in by the deadline, which is always before 11:59 p.m. on the Sunday that they're due, they're always due on Sunday. Uh, they are they disappear. You can't access them anymore. So Canvas, make sure you get that done in time. Don't wait till 11:50 when you got 9 minutes to get the assignment in. Okay, and so just make sure you get it done. Any other questions, Logan? I'm happy with your questions. If you got any more,
How many lessons total are there throughout the
six
semester?
lessons total. So you have a total of about 300 assignments approximately. That's assignments, but then you've got a total of 30 quizzes, six lesson tests, and 12 Canvas assignments. However, you know what, Logan? Most of these assignments, I mean, if you've done your studying, a lot of these assignments are going to take 5 minutes, 2 minutes. If anybody's had Spanish before, we'll be done with these things very quickly until it gets a little more complicated. All right, good questions. Thank you, Logan. I appreciate that. Anybody else? Or Logan, another question.
So we're gonna have assignments in Canvas and Vistas, right?
Correct. And that's all. There's nothing
And
else.
that's all
Oh,
right. Okay.
it's actually in Canvas, but it's a Canvas assignment, but in during lesson 5, we're going to do the oral proficiency test, and it only covers material. And I give you a complete list of what you have to study. And by the way, this oral proficiency test. You have to meet with me through Zoom. I make it easy. I try to help you. I'd rather help you a little bit and give you a good grade than you don't have to stress about it, is what I'm saying. It's a state requirement. I make it as user friendly as I can. I'm not here to try to make to make your lives difficult. Okay. And thank you for that question. I only have your name as usuario de Zoom, which means a Zoom user for
Oh,
those of you
I'm
who don't
sorry.
speak
My
Spanish yet.
name is my name is Yamilei Fuentes.
Okay, I'm very glad to meet you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So any other, those are all great questions. Anybody else? Okay, then I want to show you something else that's very important. I need you, it's part of this course that you check these grade things. Oh, by the way, let me show you this first, okay? This is a pull down menu. What I like is this vocabulary tools one. None of the rest that you can find your text here, your ebook, but that's you already know how to get that exactly for the lesson you need. You can access it through it here. But let's look at vocabulary tools because oh, never mind. Okay, that's not really what I want to show you. That's okay. You're going to see all those. That's just an assignment, but they do it lesson by lesson. Let's look at grades though. This is important. This is your overall. This is going to be your cumulative scores for lesson one. You can change lessons right here. There's a drop-down menu. So when we get further on, you can get to the lessons that you need. By the way, lesson 7 is down here. It's only one little section of lesson 7, and I've eliminated a section of lesson 6, and that's because there's a state requirement to teach a certain part of Spanish that's in lesson 7, but still only 6 lessons. Okay, don't worry about that. This is your overall thing here. But what I want to do is have you go to where is it anyway? Um, oh, that's right. This is where we need to be. Um, so there's no scores here yet. But let's see if we can find that exercise I did so badly on. Okay. First of all, this shows you your possible points. The tutorials are only 1 point. Just look at them. Look at them one time. You're done. Okay. And you can go back and look at them if you need to. But let's go down here. I did pretty poorly on. Remember, this is the one I did so badly on. Out of 20, I only got 12. So what you can do is use this to kind of look through, and you should have done this already because you get a second chance to ask me, but you can go back and use the ask your instructor again, okay? And I can change grades. Now you have to submit twice for me to do a grade change request or a grade review request. But I'm happy to do that. Like, oh, and I'll show you why. I think it's in an email I sent out, but if you make a little teeny tiny spelling error, like if you're trying to do the number six, which is SEIS, SACE, but you spell it SIES, it seems to be a very common mistake. Well, I would give you credit for that. I'd give you at least most credit for it. But the computer says, that's wrong. I don't understand it. It's all wrong. You get a 0. Even if you had the right answer, you just misspelled it. So that's where you can look through here and send me another request and say, hey, Dave, you know what? This is one little spelling mistake. Could I get at least partial credit for this? I'll almost always give you some kind of credit for it. So just be aware that part of this course, and it's actually a critical component of this course, you checking on your work and making sure that you get the best grade that you can. And I know that's on you. It's an online course, though. You know, you're doing your own learning here. So that's just how it is. And I do not have time to go through every single exercise that's computer graded. I don't have that kind of time. I mean, I would literally be spending 60, 70 hours a week trying to go over everybody's work. That's why the computer is so handy. But you've got to keep an eye on the computer. And if they give you no credit for one teeny tiny little error where you basically got the right answer, but you just misspelled it, well, let me know. Then I can fix that for you. Okay. Now, any questions right now?
Will there be any extra credit opportunities?
Unfortunately, Logan, no, because we're just doing vistas basically. So just do the best you can, and if you need to take a mulligan on a thing, I'll help you out. You know, or if you get behind, and unfortunately, getting behind, I can't fix. So that's something that's very important to manage your time and not leave everything till the weekend before it's due. I'm not just talking to Logan; I'm talking to everybody. I've seen so many good students, hardworking students, but they just get behind. I know people work and they go to school, and I get it, and it's hard, but that's how this course is. I can't change the due dates or anything about it, so you got to keep up. What you can do with me though is I do what do you call that? Office hours. Tuesdays from 10 to 11 a.m. And I understand that's not going to work for everybody, but if you would really like to meet with me with Zoom, it would be with Zoom. That time doesn't work for you, let me know. We'll work something out. I'll try to be there for you. You know, maybe in the evening is the only time you can meet. Now, I can't do that every day. And I also have things like I teach an in-person class Tuesdays and Thursdays in the evening, and I do a radio show here in our little Lake County on Monday evenings. But I can try to make it happen for you to the best of my ability. Okay. All right. I've had some very intelligent questions so far, and I would like to hear more if there are any, because sometimes I forget things that I should mention. So you tell me, anything that I should tell you about? All right, then. If I hear silence, I guess that means we're okay. By the way, all this is explained in detail. If I've gone pretty fast, and I know I have, it's all very clear once you get into our Canvas homepage and also the two things I told you to check out in announcements in Vistas. Click on those. It's important. They will give you very clear information on how to get help and things like that. And I'm going to be sending out videos that may or may not help you understand the material a little bit better. I'm going to stop the share. And I think I'm pretty much done unless anybody has another question for me. I guess the last thing I would say is this. It's tough when you're in an online class and there's a lot to do and you got to keep up. So why don't you let me know when you need help? That would be my suggestion to you. I mean, I want to do the best job I can for you as students in this kind of challenging class. It's going to move very fast. Oh, I do have one more thing to say. I forgot about that. After the first lesson, so after February 1st, we're going to have weekly deadlines in Canvas. There'll only be lesson deadlines sorry, I said that entirely wrong. We're going to have weekly deadlines in Vistas. Now, the reason I don't do that for the first lesson is because a lot of people join the class late, and I don't want to penalize them if they haven't been here. So that's why everything's due on February 1st for lesson 1. But after that, in Vistas, there's weekly lesson deadlines. Okay, Canvas will still be just at the end of the lesson, whatever date that is. Okay, so keep up on that, and just keep up on your Vistas dashboard, and you'll know exactly when things are due. Okay, so is that it? Are we all good? Yeah, I guess if I don't
Yes.
hear anything, we're good. So I'm going to say, bienvenidos a la clase. Welcome to the class. Estoy muy contento de tenerlos como estudiantes. I'm really happy to have you as students, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you, okay? So I'm going to end this meeting, and we will see each other in other facets of life, okay? All right. Bye, everybody. Hasta luego.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay, you are all welcome. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye.